Yes, welcome to the Biz Communication Show. I'm your host, Bill Lampton. Every week, bringing in for a conversation a recognized business communication expert. Picking up on what these people advise us, you will strengthen your sales, your marketing, your management, your customer service, and yes, your profits. Today, we have a terrific resource, Gregg Burkhalter. Let me introduce Gregg this way. Gregg Burkhalter is a recognized authority on personal branding and LinkedIn. Gregg has helped countless professionals in the U.S. and abroad define their personal brand and develop a LinkedIn strategy to build relationships and grow their brand. He's trained everyone from Silicon Valley engineers to major corporate executives, from successful CEOs in career transition to college students looking for their first job. Gregg is known by many as the LinkedIn guy. He's a very in-demand speaker and speaks often to corporations and organizations about LinkedIn and personal branding. Gregg also enjoys giving back and paying it forward by talking to students at area high schools, colleges, and universities. Join me in welcoming that LinkedIn guy who also deals with personal brands, Gregg Burkhalter. Hello, Gregg.
Good morning, Mr. Bill, and let me start our conversation with a big thank you to you, sir, because a little over a year ago, you and I sat down and did something similar to this. And I got to tell you, the response I've gotten in the last 52 weeks has been amazing. So thank you for the opportunity. And thanks for being such a great communicator to make me, a poor communicator, look good. Thank you.
It doesn't take much effort to make you look good. I just put you on the camera and let you talk, and you take care of the rest of it, Gregg.
I'm a talker, so let's talk. And how have you been, by the way, Bill? You been doing well?
Doing well, like many people, winding up this year, ready to start another year with all the excitement, the possibilities, the challenges, and the rewards that come with that, as you know so well.
And if 2019 goes as fast as 2018, it's going to be so blurry, I may not remember what happened.
Well, years goes fast because you're working diligently and energetically and helping a lot of people. Okay, let's get to the topic, and thank you again for being here, Gregg. Gregg, first off, I want to say that many of us who use LinkedIn get the feeling that almost every time we turn on the screen, something has changed. There have been many changes. I know that you can't go over all of them, but please mention two or three of the most significant recent changes, explain them briefly, and I'm sure you can clear up our confusion by doing that.
Well, I got to tell you, Bill, you're not alone. When I log on to LinkedIn myself, I'm surprised a lot, but I'm not complaining because I got to tell you, since Microsoft purchased LinkedIn, there's been some incredible improvements, and those improvements are going to continue into the new year. 2018 saw the introduction of native video on LinkedIn, and that's been extremely popular. There's been a lot of other cool features that have rolled out during the year also. Some of them not used as much as others because most people don't know about them. In fact, one of those features is a voice messaging, really cool ability to take out your LinkedIn mobile app, go to your message center and actually send a voice message to someone, which I believe during the building of a relationship, hearing someone's voice creates what I call emotion. And the emotion creates that personal connection. So yeah, voice messaging is wonderful. Don't overuse it. Don't overuse video either, but voice messaging is very important. As a company, one of the big changes on LinkedIn that's going on right now as we speak, and it's not fully rolled out, but will be by the time you watch this video probably, is that LinkedIn is changing the company page. Not only are they changing the page, they've actually changed what they call the company page. It's now officially called LinkedIn Pages. And what they're trying to do is make the LinkedIn company page incorporate more of the conversation and activity of the company employees. And they're also allowing company page administrators a little more flexibility on how they can manage their company page. So they can start doing some things now on their company page from the mobile phone. In the past, they had to use the desktop. Also in transition right now is something I don't even have yet. A lot of my friends do, but we will shortly, is a revised share box. So when you go to LinkedIn to share an article or something like that, there's going to be a new share box that gives you a whole new potpourri of options. For example, do you want to share it so everyone in LinkedIn could see it possibly? Do you only want to share it with your network? Do you want to share it into a group? So a lot more functionality there. Not only can you point your post to certain groups and facilities, you can also share different documents. In fact, right now, LinkedIn is rolling out the ability to share in your newsfeed PDF files, PowerPoint files, and documents, so that when you're talking about something, you can provide the supporting documentation with your update that they can view inside of LinkedIn. That's really, really cool. And a couple of other fast features for you. I used to, like this the other day, I was meeting with a client for an event. We were networking and doing some stuff. And my client said, where are you located? Where do you want to meet? I pulled out my LinkedIn mobile app. I went to my message center. I clicked the little icon that says show my location, and I sent a map to where I was located so my client knew where I was at. That's built inside of LinkedIn right now. And lastly, I'll mention to you something coming in 2019. If the pilot project works out, they're testing it right now with various people. LinkedIn Events is scheduled to be back. So if you're hosting an event, like say one of my connected networking events, I can put it on LinkedIn as an event, talk to my connections about it, and actually have LinkedIn be my funnel for attracting people to my event. So as you can see, Bill, 2018 was very busy. I don't expect 2019 to be any slower on what LinkedIn is doing.
That's a terrific whirlwind overview, Greg. Appreciate that. When you mention native video, as a person who produces videos quite regularly, I really welcomed that feature, because previously we could show a video merely by posting the link, and people had to go to the trouble of clicking on that link. Now they don't have to. When they come to our post, the video is already playing because we've been able to upload it. And if you know how to download and upload, it's not a complicated process. It's also rather quick. I have found there's no inordinate delay in that. That works well. And then it was just the other day, commenting again on what you just said, it was just the other day that you introduced me to voice messaging. How instead of sending someone a written message, or of course we could combine the two, but you can send them a voice message. And of course, as the biz communication guy, I have to agree with you. There's warmth, there's personality, there's life in the voice that just cannot be there in print. These are wonderful changes. Reminds me of the book, Who Moved My Cheese? People might not like change, but many times when we adjust to it, it's beneficial, and that's certainly true in this case. Let's talk now. I want your opinion, Greg, your information about views. I post something on LinkedIn. The people who are watching this interview post something on LinkedIn. We check back later in the day and we see how many views it has had. Exactly what is a view?
Well, let me clarify a little bit about LinkedIn's terminology for the activity you do on the newsfeed. They've kind of changed the wording on us. So currently, when somebody says, are you writing an article on LinkedIn? They're talking about what used to be called a long-form blog post on LinkedIn. If they say, are you writing a post? That means sharing a link to an article, sharing a photo, or sharing a comment on the newsfeed. When it comes to sharing or writing a post, a comment, a photo, or an image you put on the newsfeed, views on that are based on how many people actually see that item on their newsfeed as they scroll down. Does that mean someone actually read the link that you shared? No, it does not. They saw the item on their newsfeed. When someone writes an article, which is the blog post, when somebody views that blog post, that is based on when they actually went to the blog post page. So there's a unique URL assigned with every LinkedIn article you write. So when you go to that URL, LinkedIn tracks that as a view, whether the person read the article as an entirety or not. When you share a video, that's another thing. They have a different tracking capability for that. Video, as you said earlier, on your newsfeed is autoplay. So in other words, when a video shows up, it automatically starts playing. But I decided myself, I don't enjoy the autoplay feature, so I've turned that off using my settings and privacy on LinkedIn. So now I have to push the play button. But how do you judge profile, I'm just going to say video views on LinkedIn? LinkedIn counts the first 2 seconds you look at the video. So if you see the video for 2 seconds, whether you watch the whole thing or not, that is counted as a view. So with you, Bill, having your news feed set up so videos play automatically, it would probably take you more than 2 seconds to even scroll by the video. So that would probably count as a view. With me having autoplay turned off, I would actually have to push the video and have it play for a second or two to count. So I will tell you this though, LinkedIn is working on the news feed. It's trying to improve the news feed. One of the ways it's doing that is by to qualify the updates that are being shared by LinkedIn users. So whether you know it or not, Bill, when you share an update on your LinkedIn newsfeed on your profile there, LinkedIn sends it out to some key numbers of your connections to test the water. They want to see what do the people who really support you think of the update. So the exposure you get on information you share on LinkedIn is highly relative to the activity you have within the first hour or two of that update being out. So how many of your connections liked it or commented on it? That kind of stuff ramps up your exposure on your update. If nobody comments and nobody says anything, that update will have a short life on LinkedIn.
Most helpful. Gregg, we need to move along to personal branding in a minute, but in 30 seconds or so, tell us the difference, please, between a connection and a follower.
Well, connection and followers have a lot of similarities. The main difference is this, Bill. When you're connected with someone, you have the ability to see the list of all their connections. When someone follows you, they can see all your activity just as if they were a connection, but they are not able to see the name of your connection. So that's the two differences there.
Thank you. Now, on to personal branding. You have helped many, many clients improve their personal brand. Okay, you talk about digital relationships and you talk about in-person relationships, both of which impact and help shape and reshape our brand. Define for us digital relationship and in-person relationship and tell, please, the advantages of each.
Well, I can tell you, you are totally correct. Both are very important and they both are related to one another. So if you're making relationships in person, you should transition that relationship to the digital realm. And that has value when you do that. Let me explain the value. Here's what an in-person relationship conversation sounds like. Hey, Bob, how's it been going? What have you been doing for the last month since I saw you? That's a nice conversation. But a digital conversation is different. The digital conversation is something like this when you see someone. Hey, Bob, congratulations on the award. I saw that you went to Russia last week to present a special presentation. And hey, I saw you have a new job. Congratulations. The conversation is more of a current conversation when you have a digital relationship. So please take your in-person relationships, digitize them, nurture those relationships, live the professional lives of your connections. It's just a greater way of enhancing the relationship. They're both important, but digital is the way you maintain and grow your relationships on a more intense level.
A related question. What percentage of our day should we spend on developing, cultivating, nurturing digital and in-person relationships?
Bill, for the guy who's a relationships person, that's a loaded question. I spend 100% of my time trying to do that, but I am really focused right now as trying to build digital relationships because there's a fact here that I tell people in my presentations that no matter how much someone likes you in real life, if they don't see your name or face in their digital realm, you are forgotten. That's a reality of a very loud digital world. So please take your in-person relationships, digitize them, and grow those things because that's a valuable asset in building those relationships, both for your personal branding growth and the growth of your business.
Gregg, knowing your background and having seen the photo of you in your radio career, it's no surprise to me that you say, you use this comparison that your brand is like a radio. Elaborate on that for us, please.
You would bring up that photo, that bad hair photo from back decades ago, but
it fit that era.
It shows I can laugh at myself, Bill.
Yes.
Yeah. Talking about a radio station and personal branding, I do believe your personal brand is sort of like that because you are transmitting your vibe everywhere you go. And I talk to a lot of small and medium-sized companies and a lot of sales teams. And I'll walk in there and I will talk to the team and I'll ask them this question, which gives them the deer in the headlight look. I ask them, as a person who sells to small businesses, when you walk into a local coffee shop or a community place where you can work, when you walk inside there, Do you wear your name badge? I mean, really, you just walked into a hub of your future clients and they don't know who you are. So your brand is like a radio station. Will they ever call in a request? I don't know, but I can guarantee you one thing, they're listening. And I know myself in the last month, I've had 2 requests called in. One of those requests was from someone I haven't actually spoken to intently for 40 years. I had no idea they were listening to my music. I had another request come in from someone I knew from 20 years ago. Didn't know they were listening either. So don't ever assume that people may not be listening. Assume they are listening. And make sure you present your brand and your personality in such a way that you're proud of it, that you're helping others, and it's going to be attractive to other people. Be consistent.
I learned that from you. Not long ago, I was going to a restaurant. I was meeting with 2 professional colleagues to talk about networking and marketing, share ideas. As I was leaving the house, I put my name badge on my coat, and my wife said, "Are you going to a meeting?" I said, "No." She said, "I thought you were just going to lunch with a couple of guys." I said, "I am." She said, "Well, they know you. Why are you wearing your name badge?" And I said, "Gregg Burkhalter taught me that. Gregg taught me that I'm not wearing it for those 2 guys who know me, but I'm wearing it for other people who might see me and read it." I think you've told me, Gregg, when we first discussed this a while back, you said that sometimes when you go into a restaurant, people see your badge that identifies what you do, and they get into a conversation with it. Before long, you might have a potential client.
Yeah, in fact, I had a situation happen about 6 months ago. I was actually at a local coffee shop that begins with the letter S. I won't tell you what it is. And I was sitting outside and I was meeting with my client. And as I was meeting my client, someone walked out of this particular coffee shop and they said to me, "Have a good day, Gregg." And my client goes, "Who is that?" I said, "I have no idea. They saw my name tag when I went in and I ordered coffee." My client goes, "Wow, it is really important to wear your brand." I said, "You're right." So that's a real life situation where one of my clients got to experience.
Gregg, there's an old saying, time flies when you're having fun. And it has flown by today. This has been not only highly informative, but very enjoyable for me, and I'm sure for our viewers and listeners as well. So there are people who will want to get in contact with you. Please give us your contact information.
Yeah, please reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation and provide value to you in some way. Go to my website, which is greggburkhalter.com, or you can visit my LinkedIn profile. The direct link is linkedin.com/IN/Gregg Burkhalter. If you want to take a shortcut, go to Google, fire it up, type in the LinkedIn guy. Hopefully I'll show up at the top spot, which is where I see my name most of the times. And again, I encourage you, please reach out to me, and I'd be honored to have a conversation with you.
And Gregg is a terrific resource, as I said at the outset, and certainly he has demonstrated his mastery of LinkedIn and personal branding as we've talked. Any closing comment, Gregg?
Bill, now that you've asked that question, why don't I give you the comment that I close all my presentations with? And it's actually a quote I came up with that I live my life by, and I use it to encourage others. And the quote is, "Relationships are key to personal happiness and professional success. Please help other people. They will help you, and we can all succeed." Mr. Bill, thank you again. Honored to be on your show. Thank you again for the chance to do this.
Thank you, my friend. And since Gregg has given his contact information, I'm happy to share mine. Biz Communication Guy. So logically, my website is B-I-Z, bizcommunicationguy.com. Invite you to go there, sign up for my online newsletter. Look at the services that I provide for corporations and for individual leaders. Give me a call, 678-316-4300. We'll talk about your communication problems and how I can help you solve them. Again, thanks very much to all of you who've been with us today. Look forward to seeing you again next week when I host another business communication expert. I'm Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy.